I got to ask this question. This person said he heard that the like button and the comment button were basically the same kinds of actions on LinkedIn content. It's not the case. So I thought, you know what? I should go ahead and break down my definition and my perspective of these actions on LinkedIn content so that you understand, at least from my perspective, how to use them. Well, first of all, you can see we have the proverbial like button. You can see this piece of content from Hickory Young Professionals, a group that I'm aware of in Hickory, North Carolina, that 10 people, 9 plus Lee, have liked this content. And it's right there. It's the like button. You got these little emoticons. You got, like and celebrate and support and love and insightful and funny. Now, let me tell you what those are. That's nothing different than walking up behind the person, slapping them on the back and going, good stuff, dude, or thanks a lot, dude, or pretty smart, dude, it made me laugh, dude. And I mean, it's okay to do that every now and then, but that is not the most powerful action that you can take on LinkedIn content. I use that very infrequently. And by the way, you get the like button not only on posts, but you also get the like button on comments. And if there's a reply, you get to be able to like on replies as well. Right there, like button, same emoticons. It's okay, but it doesn't grow your brand. It doesn't get people to discover a little bit more about you. And by the way, you get hidden behind 9 and other. Most people don't even see that you did it. Now let's talk about the next button, which I think is the most powerful button, the most powerful action that you can do on LinkedIn content. This is where you join the conversation. This is where you get involved. This is where you get to discuss what the piece of content's all about as you read through it and understand what they're talking about, and you get to jump in and participate. And when you do that, you absolutely must participate in context of this piece of content. You can maybe tag Royal Mortensen, maybe tag Molly Grantham in there. Maybe you don't need to tag the company because they're already tagged there. And, say something meaningful about this piece of content and about the topic at hand. Bring your perspectives, your insights, your thoughts, your anything that adds to the conversation, doesn't distract from the conversation. And remember, never criticize, condemn, or complain ever. This is where you really get to show people who you are as a human because of the words you use, where you are as a subject matter expert because of the conversations that you participate in. And by the way, when you comment on a content or like a piece of content, that'll push it into your newsfeed for your target audience to see. So make sure that when you're commenting or liking, that you are commenting and engaging on content that you want your target audience to see. That's absolutely critical. You can't imagine the number of Instagram posts that I have seen that are totally irrelevant and often disrespectful to individuals' brands, and the people that I know who've liked that content. Like, why are you liking that? Conversation for another day. Don't do that here. If you got a piece of content that's disrespectful to your brand, totally irrelevant to your brand, personal or professional, walk away from it. But again, comment is the most powerful action you can use on LinkedIn content to build your brand and nurture the relationships regarding the people that you are commenting on their post. Now, here's the next action. This is the repost button. The repost button gives you 2 individual actions. Gets you action number 1 is to repost with your thoughts, which I think is a much more meaningful way to put content out there for your target audience to see. This is the most beneficial repost of your thoughts, the most beneficial way for you to use content to build your brand and nurture relationships with people and get discovered through the words that you use, similar to the same kind of philosophy about commenting. Because when you put reposts of your thoughts, you first tell people why they should consume this piece of content, read it, watch it, listen to it, or whatever. but you also get to add your insights into that editorial content, because right there it is. You get to start writing or use the mention button, companies or schools. And again, it used to say, and tell the viewer why you are sharing this with them, and use the words that resonate with your target audience. So they'll understand that you're giving them content that can be absolutely useful to them. By the way, my analogy is this: when you repost without your thoughts, or repost, and your target audience sees it, you did not tell them why it's important for them to read it, which is important. It's like walking up to a complete stranger, handing them a brochure and walking away. Well, what do you want me to do with this? Tell me by reposting with your thoughts so I understand. And again, that's the most powerful way for you to repost content, because it gets you to share those words. Now, and it also makes that action more beneficial to you and less beneficial to the original content creator, because it creates a whole nother piece of content that could compete for newsfeed space with the original piece. Now, that's why this is here. When you repost, that's going to instantly drop that piece of content back in the LinkedIn newsfeed for your first level network to see. It's going to be the original piece of content, which includes its original likes and comments and replies, etc., etc. And that is way more beneficial to the original author than it is to you. It might be beneficial to you in some way or another, again, but I missed out the opportunity to tell you why I'm sharing it. Because this, again, takes that original piece of content and it republishes it out on the LinkedIn newsfeed. Now the last action. The last action is send. This is where you get to take a piece of content, you go, I want to give it to this group of people, and I want them to be able to see this piece of content. And when you select multiple people to share that piece of content with through LinkedIn messaging, I have the ability to create a group, which means I'll create a new LinkedIn group, messaging group, with these 3 people in it. Or if I don't say create a group, I'll send it to them individually, an individual message, in this case to Ed, Sarah, and Randy. Then the power of doing that, whether you do it separately or via group, is I get to use a piece of content to start a conversation with those LinkedIn members. Again, a private conversation or a small group conversation versus a public conversation, which is how Repost does it, or Comment does it. So this is very useful, again, to start a private conversation. And if you're going to do that, you want to write a message that encourages them to comment in the message, not necessarily on the content. They could do that as well, but ask them, hey, please comment here or reply here with your thoughts, your ideas, your perspective about this piece of content, if in fact your goal is to create a conversation. Now, this is a really powerful way for you to take a piece of content, send it to someone, and that can show them that you cared enough, as long as the content that you're sending to them is relevant, useful, interesting to them. When you put that in their LinkedIn messaging, then that shows them that you cared enough to target them specifically with this content. Now, the bottom line is this. I've always recommended that you engage on content 4 times as often as you share content. And the purpose of that is, when you share content, your goal should be to start conversations. Well, you can't always start the most phenomenal conversations. Someone else has already done that. So that's why I encourage you to engage, i.e. get into those conversations, become a participant so people can discover you through your words. Comment, most powerful. Repost of your thoughts, very powerful. Send it directly, very powerful when you do it right. The like button, it's a slap on the back and say thanks, and sometimes that's what you need to do. I'm Teddy, your LinkedIn and Sales Navigator strategist, trainer, and coach, and I hope this is helpful for you.